Hiya. So I promised something a little different starting this week, really. I had a load of things planned, but my ideas have changed somewhat as to what I'm going to do with my commercial work. I'm wanting to move much more into the video side of things, as well as the stills. So building on my stills reputation to do something more. But I thought I'd give you an introduction to my kit, because there's quite a lot of changing since last time I looked at anything. And then we're going to have a little play through here, doing some video tours, hopefully. We'll see how it looks. I want to do a run through with the little gimbal and then with the big gimbal, sort of see the difference. And then there might be another one to come because I've got a DJI Avatar FPV drone arriving later today. I must apologise for the echoes. I'm in the lifeboat station because my road's closed and it was the only place I could think that I could come down and have some quiet time to do this. I've had a job cancelled, so I'm kind of waiting between things. Anyway, I'll talk you through what I've got kit-wise and what I use everything for, in case that's of interest to you. So we'll start for this end with the gimbals. The Pocket 3 I've been using for a while. It's a great little bit of kit. It's like a good mobile phone camera, essentially. That's the sort of quality that I would describe it as. But this is the new beast. A DJI Ronin RS4. It's a whole different ball game, and I'm going to use that with the Z6II for the moment. There's rumours of a Nikon Z series based video camera coming. So I'm holding fire on buying anything until there's more concrete news on that, because I think it could be a real game changer for me. So speaking of my Z6, moving on. This is what I call my basic kit. So this is generally what I'll use for most jobs. The 1430 f4, the Z6. I do keep this with me for tricky shots. It's a Leoa 15mm shift lens, which allows me to get verticals on really close buildings. And this is another new lens, the 24 to 120 f4, which was my favourite standard lens on the D850 I used to use. It was my favourite focal length on my Canon EOS 5Ds. So I'm really looking forward to getting to grips with this lens. I think it could be a real winner. It's just such a versatile piece. And between these two lenses, it covers most of my day-to-day work on the standard range of stuff anyway. Then we've got the little drone, little Mavic Mini 3. It's great. I've only got the one battery for it. I don't use it a huge amount, but it's really useful in urban settings or where it's just too tight to get out the bigger machine. Then we've got the Mavic 3, which is my main drone. This is what I use for most of my work. It's getting a bit long in the tooth. It's a bit tired. I'm holding off replacing it at the moment because there's the Mavic 4 coming, which sounds like it's going to be a substantial improvement. So I'm going to make do for the time being. It still does cracking work. I just want better, because don't we always? And then this is what I call my my premium photography gear. So we've got the Nikon Z7 Mark II, which is every bit as good as my old D850, if not more so. The 2470 2.8, which is beautiful. New lens here, the 14 to 24 2.8. I haven't used it yet, but given how good the f4 is, I'm expecting great things from this. My 105 macro. This, a hugely underrated lens. The old Nikon f1.4G. It's one of two lenses that I actually bothered converting through to the Z system. I love it. It's got a really nice bokeh. It's got a real nice feel to it. And then we've got the 70-200 2.8. Now, thinking about this a little bit more, a lot of agents use mobile phones to do their video tours. So if you excuse the fact that all my gear is going to be out on the table, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do a tour through this building here, the lifeboat station. So here we are, mobile phone video. This is done on a Google Pixel 7. So it's not the latest and greatest, but it's a pretty decent camera. Pretty much what people would have doing videos. They might use an Apple, they may be slightly better, but it's broadly the same. So here we go. There we go, that's the mobile phone video, and while I was doing that, a job came through to do a live site video, so it's good practice. Here we go, we're going to move on to the DJI Pocket 3, which is great. I've been using this for a fair bit for my work recently, and I'm going to continue to use this for a lot of my YouTube stuff, because it's better for the sort of the talkie to camera parts than using a great big gimbal. So back out, we're going to try and do something similar. I've remembered to turn lights on this time, so there's a bit of a difference. So it was quite dark, and just be glad you don't have smell of vision. Right, switching now. So that was shot using the little Osmo 3. It's a great little camera. I do like it. So we're going to go a little bit more complex now, and I'm going to use the Z6II on the gimbal. I'm going to use the big wide angle, the posh one, for this one. It's a big reason I bought it was for doing this kind of work, so it would seem churlish to use the f4. So it's going to take me a minute because I'm going to have to balance the gimbal and everything. I'll show you all that in a sec, which is why it's a more expensive process, or one of the reasons. The other being the file sizes, the fidelity, and the fact the equipment's, you know, an order of magnitude more than this little Osmo 3. So one of the gripes I do have with this setup, the plates, they look like they're Arca Swiss compatible, but they're not. And I think that is a missed opportunity in many ways. So I need to fit an adapter to the bottom of my L plate. Fortunately, these small rig plates have another set of screw holes on them, and I've just put that into that one and then realised it's not the centre one. So the idea is I'm going to use the centre one so I keep everything lined up with the centre point on the camera for balance, which should hopefully make life a lot bit easier. So the adapter goes on first, then we pop the camera into the gimbal. I'll take the strap off it too. There's one less thing to get in the way. Not the easy thing to put together, this I've got to say. There we go. Right, that is in place. So, now we need to balance this. I had it balanced all nicely the other day with a different lens on it, so see how we go. Can't remember what the order I do this in now. So challenge Rob. So I'm going to try and get this axis first. It's very front heavy. So the idea is I get that to hit as close to balance as I can. Which is about there. It's a case of opening each lock in turn. Till we achieve a balance. This has gone slightly haywire for some reason. Now most of these I can leave set up. So I want to get it where I want it. We'll just open that. That's pretty good. That's pretty stable. I'm quite happy with that. So we'll lock that one off. I can open this one, and that gives me the rotation. We're all good to go. So we turn it on. And then calibrate it. Now I need to calibrate at every startup because that basically fine tunes all the motors for me. That is now calibrated. So now, as you can see, everything's nice and smooth. So let's go have a play. So there we have it, a quick whistle through of my gear, a quick go with a few different video techniques. I'm going to do this again with the FPV when that arrives, hopefully today. And yeah, back to work for me.